The Indiana Fever have been the best three-point shooting team in the WNBA second half of the season, have struggled mightily from there today. That will have to change in game 2 for them. Meanwhile, Ty Harris in a boot after rolling her ankle earlier this game. And Marina Mabry has stepped up in her absence. The most points off the bench in WNBA playoff history. 27 for Mabry, 20 of them in the second half.
Yeah, an absolute difference maker offensively for Connecticut here in this game.
Thomas off to Burton. Her three is good. It's been Connecticut who has been hot from deep. Now 8 for 17. That's 47%.
If you're Indiana and you start to look ahead to game 2, it's an Indiana team all season long who beat their opponent by just scoring a lot of points. It wasn't because they were playing any kind of lockdown defense. If you're Indiana, you have to feel pretty good about the looks you got today, Ryan. They were getting good open looks from the perimeter, just couldn't make them.
Let's set things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, Marina Mabry, an epic day off the bench. Her career has been one of ups and downs. She was a great national champion at Notre Dame, won a title there, but barely made, oh, we've got an injury. I'm going to get it back to you.
All right, Holly, thank you very much, because Alyssa Thomas grabbing at her right leg and screaming as she does. Is there contact right there? Maybe knee to knee from Duntas. Thomas gets a big applause, and at least seems better than it initially looked. Thomas, her 4th career playoff triple-double today. The runner-up to the MVP a season ago in the tightest race ever. Bonner banks it in. 22 from Dewana Bonner, who also has 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Just to Holly's point about Marina Mabry, a really interesting route to this moment for a player who's an all-star caliber player in this league. LA, Dallas, Chicago, now Connecticut, and hasn't ever gotten necessarily the consistent run and the consistent home. Shot clock violation there from Indiana, and you wonder if Christy Sides at some point is going to get some of her key players off their feet here.
Yeah, I would do that right now.
14 turnovers from Indiana. Reminder up next, Diana Taurasi and Phoenix going up against the Minnesota Lynx. 5 Eastern here on ESPN, and then at 10 Eastern, it's the 2-time defending champion Aces hosting the Storm. These are all 3-game series in the first round. Here's Clark. Has not shot it well today. 4 for 17 from the floor. 2 for 13 from 3 as Mitchell scoops it in. Mitchell has 21 points. Has been very effective from 2. 7 of 10, but 2 for 10 from 3. Carrington, why not? An emphatic exclamation point for the Connecticut Sun. A 22-point lead with 1:38 to go. They will have a 1-0 series lead.
A Connecticut Sun team that we've talked about has built their identity over the course of the last half-decade on being a terrific defensive team. And they've shown that here today against one of the most prolific offenses since the All-Star break. But then offensively, for them to be 9 of 18 from 3, this is a team that makes 6 a game, shoots 33% on the season. And today has been lights out. And what is the biggest reason they've been lights out from three has been Marina Mabry. In this second half, she has been ridiculous. 5 of 12 from the day on three. We've seen her get him in the quarter court. We've seen her get him out in transition, moving the ball around, popping out. I mean, she has certainly just been in her bag on the offensive end of the floor.
She also has a toughness,
yes,
and ferocity that matches the identity of the Connecticut Sun.
Spunk. Do people still use that word?
They do now.
She has a spunk. It's a fun one to say, too, by the way.
And taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule tonight, 2 more games to come. Phoenix, Minnesota, game 1, 5 Eastern on ESPN, and then Seattle and Vegas, game 1, 10 Eastern. For more on these games, go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. So Indiana empties its bench. So does Connecticut. All right, how about adjustments for Indiana looking ahead to game 2, Rebecca? 7:30 Eastern, Wednesday night on ESPN, back here in Connecticut.
Well, number one, early on in the game, they have to find a way to get a better flow and play with a better pace on the offensive end of the floor. And some of that is going to come down to just getting to the defensive glass. You want Aliyah Boston to be exactly who she was offensively and defensively in this game, and your guards simply need to make some of those good looks you've gotten from the perimeter. Again, you'd be more concerned if you weren't getting good looks. They've gotten good looks.
And one of the things that you talked about earlier, but because Indiana hasn't shot it well, Connecticut has been so effective getting out in transition themselves. Olivia Nelson-Ododa with back-to-back jumpers. Joanna Bonner, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Alyssa Thomas, a triple-double, 27 off the bench. A WNBA playoff record for Marina Mabry. Added 14 from Dejanay Carrington on 50% shooting. And just a complete performance from the Sun as Victoria Saxton lays it in.
It's a beautiful little move for Victoria Saxton.
Dejanay Carrington gets the crowd going. An impressive second half and an authoritative Game 1 win for the Connecticut Sun over the Indiana Fever. The Sun spoil the playoff debut of Caitlin Clark, 93-69 the final. And Connecticut takes a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 first-round series.
The Connecticut Sun, a team that looked poised and experienced, because they are poised and experienced in terms of what they have done.